Lagos, now President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, without taking into consideration the peculiarity of Lagos and why it can work in Lagos and why it may be very work anywhere. Lagos State is unique in the sense that the original indigenous of Lagos State are but a handful. Lagos State is strong through a melting point in Lagos City. So some of the activities that go on in terms of its selection, it gives them a bit of space. Too many bona fide, free-born, legitimate sons of the soil who will not be accommodated in the planning. Other locations, there are too many bona fide, sons of the soil, indigenous, citizens, stakeholders, homestead owners who will have it. So it's not as simple as it is when you want to do it. The second is that sometimes you want to copy someone's style. You don't have his intellect, you don't understand what he goes, what he forbids, what he leaves. You see the outcome and you like the outcome. So, back to Rivers. This one is a very strong man in the politics of Rivers because he started his politics from the grassroots. As chairman of the government, that's a serious grassroots play. Over the years, he was able to retain his grassroots appeal until eventually was started. That will give him experience in the inner workings and the structure of Rivers government. From there, he moved to become the Minister of State for Education. That will give him an idea and some access into national people. Then he came back and became the governor of Rivers State back to back and was very strong in playing and wearing the opposition card. Then he succeeded in 2023 what called an unusual type of democracy, wherein he wasn't supporting the candidate of his party for all of the reasons you know, and I don't need to rehash. But he was still lucky enough to be able to produce senators, reps from his own stable, and yet prevented his national party getting 10%, even in the state, and eventually was able to do the magic of winning for the president. When you see that kind of scenario on the table, you cannot ignore that type of person because of politics and his political play. He succeeded in bringing Fubara, who is obviously before then was the Accountant General of the state. As an Accountant General, his political credentials as president as governor of it, and that gave him the opportunity to be able to. Are you there?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Now, that gave him the opportunity to be able to produce governor. That governor was produced. There would have been some, even if you don't have written agreement, there would have been imagined sense of him being part of it. Part of the playbook that they must have agreed. Nobody goes out of his way to install anybody if he doesn't have some confidence and some confidence in the fact that their side of the political, equation is going to be respected. A lot of things happened. They couldn't keep it together. It crescendoed into a state agency. For the state of emergency to be withdrawn by the president, then to have some elements of peace there, you know that you don't need anybody to be a soothsayer to tell you some agreement, some understanding, some give and take would have taken place under the supervision. Now they are back again at each other's throats. We don't have all the stories, the back end stories yet, but one thing we can suspect is that it's gone on to the APC, which has disrupted the apple cart somewhat because by the governor Segun going to the APC, effectively he no longer is under, or if you like, management of the PDP where Governor Showunmi will sway. Now there is now a struggle for the survival of the political play. Those serious-minded politicians will not pay attention to the gifts and lay the golden egg. So whatever it is that you have gyration is as a result of how they think the future will play. My immediate contribution to the conversation is that they need to cool down, is to let them understand that he doesn't want to hear all this unnecessary noise in that case, And he needs to let them understand that governance must happen first before you get to re-election issues. Get to the bridge of the election, you cross it. All the excessive gyration in one of the states that controls a lot of critical areas of the country at this time is unnecessary. I have seen a situation where people have been giving him ministerial slot, and I'll give you an example. Upon becoming ministers, instead of facing the job of minister, they pretended and were interested more in politics. That happened when Sharafa Tunji, now ambassador to UK, was appointed minister of, what they call it, the people in charge of minerals. Was made a minister solid minerals in this country at that time. At that time, instead when they got to Abuja, happened in SSG logo, they concocted an agenda and started creating sort of political issues, What did the president at that time do? His wisdom then came to ESCO one day and said anybody that is interested in the politics of the election in the state should resign. And people like Sharafa were summarily dismissed, so they can go and play whatever politics they want to play. So the leader must know that. The leader must know that there is nothing happening now that we don't have enough experience book or in our history to be able to guide people. If you leave the space uncontrolled, then you must be responsible for whatever. General Sadiq, when anything resembles insecurity in the country, if it lasts for 48 hours, the government is culpable, because there is no that is not completely and significantly under control, or at least supervision of the government if they are interested.
So is it looking more like a situation where you have a common enemy, the APC, and of course backing Fubara, because that's more like what is compounding the problem in that state right now. Backing Fubara, and of course not allowing the FCT minister to actually have total control on what happens in the
They have the right to control free people. You became governor there on the unchunk, gave you their vote, who freely supported you. Important person, you can't use the word control. Even for the governor decamps, like most of his colleagues have decamped, he's going to have to the gifts and caprices of his new party. And if you do not like that, then obviously you can play all the tantrums, do all the shenanigans you want, it's that other party to allow you that much space. And you must understand, each organization is uniquely different. They have their house style. The house style of the PDP that can allow anybody to may not be the house style of the APC. When you are in PDP, you don't have a president. Everybody can be boss on himself. But when you are in a political party that has a president, you know that the president is above you. You know that is above you. You must be clever to know that the Senate President is above you. You must be clever to know that the party chairman is above you. You must be clever enough to know that the governor of the governor's forum is above you. You must be clever enough to know that the zonal governor's forum chairman is. You have a lot of bosses there. And if you are the kind of human being who must be bossed all by itself, then you have to know that that type of behavior will not be tolerated there. And if a family place begins to boast too much in a country that we know its history, it must be reminded that the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not that weak in a way, but they are not that powerless. There are too many things that is available to a government, that is available to a president to say enough now. And if they do stamp their feet, you will only cry and shout. We've seen a lot of people who boasted a lot until they have to face CS. We've seen a lot of people who boasted enough until they have to face the court. We've seen a lot of people who boasted enough until they have to face the full, what they call the power of the federal government. That's about is actually potent power, depending on how the president or whoever is in charge of it wishes to use it. So I have a feeling that they need to take it easy all around the river. They will give, and whatever needs to give will give. But it's up to the president. It's his responsibility to make sure that the politics of the country does not get excessively overheated, especially with all of the politics of the world, the global play of America, the type of activities that is on us, what we have seen in Venezuela. You don't want to instigate and excite your enemies to the point that you force an intervention on a regime change that will be manipulated from outside. What's going on in Iran, and see the amount of riots going on in the country, and hear the rhetoric of America and some of the other powers. And you must be very, very careful. Nigeria is not a country that anybody is going to allow anybody to destabilize, and so help them if they know what they are doing.
All right, Otunba, what you spoke about the Lagos example, and we have seen people that are successions in state governments in the country and have not gone down well. We've seen the Edo example between Showunmi and
the Kano example, the Abeokuta example. There are lots of examples.
So what lessons can sitting governors learn, especially those that are at the verge of completing their second term, who would like to, let me use the word install?
I will speak straight to Ugo. You all know that I'm interested in being the next governor of Ugo. What I will just say, using it as an example.
You will have to pay for that.
And it's not even trying to.
No, don't worry. You know that already. You want me to continue my question?
Go ahead, sir.
Now, thank you. Leaders must be very careful. You have to know yourself, space you are occupying, and know the state. All of those things exclusively following the Lagos model. They have failed to the fact that in Lagos, the population of Lagos is predominantly made by people that are not the legitimate Lagosians. The landowners of Lagos are mostly accommodated via the Obashi, and most is consulted in picking that which you people think is just one individual picking a successor. They have a GAC, which is the Government Advisory Council, which is made up of very senior members, and they own their party, they run their party structure is firm. When you want to replicate that in other states, the problem you are going to have is that there are too many people who live in all of the other states that are citizens of that state and can say no. Let us use Ugo. This is now in his office, as has been tried many times and has failed many times, and decide that he's going to singularly produce maybe the successor. The first question he's going to have is going to be dealing with pushback from all the other sections of the state who are also citizens and who may feel legitimate or who may even feel entitled. He's going to be dealing with the pushback of other political giants in the state who can also make or manipulate things. He's going to be dealing with the pushback of all of the people who are already tired. However brilliant you may say you are running the state, by the time you get to the 8th, 7th year, people are just wanting you to go and they're looking for a new sheriff. So these are the things that people don't consider. Also, note that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was governor in Lagos and he was doing succession. All of those times he wasn't trying to be senator. He wasn't trying to be ambassador. He wasn't trying to be nothing. He was satisfied with just sitting back for 16 years, only of Lagos. Most of the people who try to blow up in their faces because in one breath you want to be father of the state. Pick the candidate yourself. In another breath you complicate issues that want to go to either say the rep, whatever you want. In another breath you are looking for someone that will be listening to you and be your stooge. In another breath it automatically means it's stupid. You forget that those who speak, sometimes you can even know their point of view and you can measure and you know that they have a bit more sense to know turn this plan for the purpose of continuity. When you don't accommodate all this, what you are going to get is this. There is nobody that will sit on the chair of the governor that can be pushed about. Be pushing in by itself. There will be other stakeholders around the place who will come and say, why are you listening to him? Don't do that. They can take the case of Rivers. Give some wicked with due respect to him and to even accommodate to. You have no idea the amount of people you have to fight to stop sinful Fubara. It will amaze you that it was everybody that Wike fought just because they didn't want sinful Fubara that is now fighting Wike on behalf of sinful Fubara. So there is some element of nobody wants anybody to be controlling them perpetually. Nobody wants one man to be giving them instruction and they are saying yes for perpetually. The whole concept of democracy includes the fact that people want to believe that they are free and they want to believe that they can take free decisions. They want to believe that they can disagree. They want to believe No. And if money is the thing you bring to the table, no man who is going to be sitting on the treasury of the state will also not have money. So these are complicated issues. But I believe that it is a function of how the ball be. And for us to get the right type of democracy, we need more people who are not easily manipulated to be interested in how leaders in their own environment. If one governor insists that he's going to pick a candidate that we don't like, we have a right to use another party to teach him a lesson, and we don't want that. And over time, because we have not been punishing chief executives after they lose their immunity, another gang of people who kind of like believe they have approved the law, they are bigger than everybody, they do whatever they like, and they get away with it. We have converted our EFCC into a showmanship in the afternoon, releasing them in the evening, not taking the money off them, not auditing them, not giving them consequences. If you see this mess we are in now, we came into this mess because successive governments about what exactly is development, what exactly is democracy. If you must marry democracy and sustainable development, then you cannot have to be played because they were made governors. People will come into state, beg people to give them governor, they will get governor, then the next minute they will now start acting like they are the wisest and the richest person in an environment. That cannot be the future.
So what solution do you think will bring an end to this Wike Fubara issue? The president has done that.
But I think the bulk of that, if you are talking specifically about Wike Fubara issue, I think the president, people who underrate Ashadu, they are underrated because most of the time, if you notice, Ashadu doesn't really talk. It's not going to be every day. When he wants to talk, it's like he's giving you what you call earthquake conversations and comments and phrases. That was why when he came and said, it appeared as if he had said something on the extraordinary. What would have gone in the background before he delivers that line? When he comes and says, we're going to vote and we're going to win. That's what we heard. But you don't know how much extra to the background. I have a feeling that wherever he is now, the kinds of issues and the advices he's taking and the way his mind works, started getting tired of the Rivers matter. And if the people of Rivers are not very careful, both of them will be. So I will admonish them, take it easy among yourselves. You guys have shared bread and drank wine together for years. You cannot make it difficult for you to accommodate yourself and manage yourself. You cannot be acting as if once you produce a candidate you will win. Democracy doesn't work like that. However roguish the democracy is, you still have to accommodate the fact that people have to vote. And you cannot be banking muscle the place or to make things a little bit ugly with violence. You can't bank on that. I can tell you for free. The government of the United America has put his eye completely in our country. For them to be firing missiles from the Gulf section of our country and begin reconnaissance all over the place as to the level of issues that are on the table and how much we push very back to say no, don't do this in our country, give us a chance, we'll manage yourself. But we can't be saying let us have democracy in Nigeria. Don't interfere with us with democracy. Don't do regime change. Don't come and do Venezuela here. If we ourselves will not even demonstrate that the minimum requirement of around power and around democracy is too difficult. Nobody's going to allow Nigeria to become chaos. Our gas asset is too much. It impacts global trade. Our quality of our oil assets is very much. It impacts global trade. Nobody in the world is going to allow Nigeria to make the carelessness of people that are weak men who are with clay feet, who are using the instruments of state to pretend that they are stronger than they really are. They are not that strong.
To be specific now,
and I'm sure he must have a solution.
To be specific now, what exactly do you think Wike should be doing at this time that we have all these issues on the table?
Advice at the course of the last 2.5 years. I had always said to people that he's a very strong man. He keeps his word to his credit. Wike hardly gives his word and when people don't keep their own part, when other people don't keep their own part of the world, they react very badly. because he keeps his own word. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in that regard, he really goes ballistic when he says, oh, we agreed we'll do this, I've done my own power. So that's who he is. But he must understand, he was mild in his reaction. He must be less talkative, because what he says creates more problems than what he does. Sometimes the leader must be quiet and must go. All this verbosity, excessive gyration, running the risk that he's appearing like his interest. And I put this specifically. Look, sir, you need to make up your mind. You can't be allowed to be same time. You will have problems in Party A and Party B. Here we are now. If you want to be an APC person, just go there. They know you. They will give you every man still finds space for him on the table. They will give you space based on your skill. If you want to be a big part to the party, rally around it. They can even build it around you because you have a bit of energy and you have a bit of gusto. But the problem is that you're not in PDP. Say you are. You're not in APC. You say you are. Are we going to relinquish Nigeria to whatever you wish? Of course, he knows that that's a joke now. So if he's not careful, he's going to find himself looking very, very long pipe. And he's going to be leading into the end of whatever he thinks he's able to do. Otherwise, if I say there's a limit to what you can be allowed to do on behalf of 200 and something people. And unfortunately, he's so unlucky. He doesn't have good media managers in the sense that if the leader is fighting, your language cannot also be hot fire. Your language must be persuasive. Your language must be explanatory. Your language must be getting people to see of you. You can't be screaming and the leader is screaming. You guys are just making everybody in the country to hate you. And when society hates you, they're not doing the whole of society to solve your problem. And we pray it doesn't get to that.
The last time Wike and Fubara had issues, it was said that Fubara was having political gladiators in the state and of course at the national level also backing him. This time around, he seems to be having that or enjoying that as well. And of course, what lesson do you think he can also derive from the first experience? Because at the end, he came out to say that he only saw the president. He saw the president and some people in the opposition. So him decamping to the APC was because he didn't see other people that were pushing him at the time. So what lesson do you think he can take from that first experience, moving into the support that he's enjoying?
Fubara is an extremely dangerous human being. It is the kind of person that you pray never have anything to do with. You know why? Fubara will keep quiet. He will wear the method of somebody that is so innocent. He will make the person that he has injured appear like the overdoer. Fubara's case is the case of someone. Be very careful when you go and meet him. He's looking like he's a victim, whereas he's the aggressor here. Yes, he has the right to join another party, but you would have asked one question. If they have resolved the issues post state of the matter, and they had gone to each other's houses to beg, I know a lot of people who play very active role in getting them to solve that problem. How hard is it for him and we for him to tell Mr. Governor or Mr. Minister, I'm beginning to think that maybe this play is better we do it in the APC. Is that so hard? But he did do that, I believe. He chose to go it alone. Okay, should PK now suddenly sit down there and just allow himself and his political base to go into extinction? But because PK talks, PK screams, PK dances, PK jumps, everybody is going to say PK is the aggressor because Fubara is keeping back. But I know that the president knows the terms of the agreement, whatever that is. I know that the president knows what they all agreed and what they didn't agree, who agreed, what they said, and whatever that is. I know that anybody from freely joining an organization called a political party, which is a free joining an organization. And I know that the politics of Rivers is not the kind of thing that the president will be playing games with, because he knows how. Listen, imagine the people that have a song for every situation. Look at the song Fubara is singing. Very, very interesting song. Fubara, if you follow me, if you go do Tinubu, Fubara tells you something. Even if you hear that, you will get back. If you are in UK scan. And when you hear weak, not be it's peculiar to them. And it requires somebody that understands the long-term issues of that place, where the power structures are, who are the power levers, who are the controllers of the position of their kings, what about their job people and all of their militancy to be able to manage them. But hey, if the president gets to the point where he has to choose between Wike and Bara, I would just advise him. Wike is not the type of human being whose capacity is limited to just rivers. And I'll tell you what I mean. In 2023, Wike ran for president in Nigeria, and I now trying to see how we can get this ticket. Luckily, we got that ticket. I met Wike's hand in corners of the country that I didn't even imagine he had reached. Because he was trying to be president under that party, he created structure across the 700 of the local governments of this country. Across the 36 plus and with that 37 states. And I know that he is the kind of person who is so spent. He's not tight-fisted, he's not a stingy person. He opens himself up, he works very hard. Him a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken, I think about 35 of them that are permanent retainers. Before he would do anything, he would have subjected it to a lot of legal opinions of sound lawyers, not the ones doing church social media. So Wike is not that type of person that you want to say you want to drop him because of everybody's own choices. But how you are going to manage them, that's the business of the president, not my business. And that in all of this, the welfare of the Rivers people, the safety of the assets of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that are staying in River, which is the oil assets, the free of the people that make up River State that are not interested in either side, they just want to have a good life, will have to help the president determine. Why does he have here? If you have people who can give you security report, he has to take a decision now. Sometimes the life of a leader is not easy. It's a question of damn if you do and damn if you don't. Abeokuta is governor, and if they don't impeach him because they could, he will be governor until the end of his tenure. What will happen in the belly of time? People who are even boasting and bragging and boasting that they will see tomorrow, some of them have died yesterday. So I think that people should take it easy. They should campaign. So they should reach the riot act to them that have had enough. There are 36 states in Nigeria, including Rivers, and I'm not going to be having headache morning, afternoon, night only because of Rivers. Enough is enough. And if he wants to be really bombastic, he can fire Wike and then interested in your Rivers politics, go and play your Rivers for let me find somebody else to do federal government work. And if he does that, then he will add the second caveat. Mr. Man, I want to hear any crisis there. My eyes are on you. The slightest misbehavior or breakdown of law and order, going to feel the full weight of the law. He can do that. There are many things he can do. No president is weak. The president might only be complicit if he is the one that has instigated them to be doing that nonsense to distract people.
Is it that Wike is scared that if Fubara gets a second term ticket, is as well as his political influence is as well as over? Because some people are saying that, especially the National Secretary of APC, is saying that Fubara, as the sitting governor of the state, is the leader of the party in the state. So Wike, being a non-member of APC, cannot tell APC how to run their affairs. So what is he afraid of?
When how many sponsors Fubara just get into APC, that Jibola is thinking that he has to go and put his mouth inside the river Sule. 3 weeks ago, did he even know that Fubara was coming? It's part of the reason why we say sometimes they have this title, they don't have the complete political experience. There are some situations where you have to wait. There are some situations where you have to check with your leader. There are some situations where you have to be circumspect. You can't take your secretary of your own party and throw it into the importance situation just because you want to issue a statement. Those who are not saying it, some of them are working doubly hard behind the scenes. That which you are stating, you are just causing, you are risking that you will inflame the whole And don't be deceived. You will not feel the problem only in Rivers. You may feel it in Kano. Some of us we know what we're talking about. You may feel it in Jigawa, you may feel it in Nasarawa. You can even feel it in Plateau. I know that we have very strong structures. You may feel it everywhere, and the president is not going to allow you to create a problem that you cannot solve for him. So sometimes saying less is more. Saying less is more. You have not even integrated completely into the APC. Have you even debriefed it? That's the problem I have with the way the people are behaving. If the parties had strong ideologies, will somebody just wake up in the morning and say it's no longer automatically you just carry a broom that they are using to sweep toilets and start to weep all and suddenly you have become progressing just by one comment? So people must understand that there has to be a debriefing period. When you debrief people, you give them time to push themselves of the tendencies of where they are coming, and then you give them the opportunity to learn the attitude and the tendencies of where they have arrived. You can't just come the next day in the morning and start to think about things you don't know. And you can look at Wiki has responded, they started saying all sorts.
So with your own understanding of the situation,
it is even tough.
With your understanding of the situation, do you see a Wiki defecting to the APC?
I don't know. Those of us who have been in PDP for a long time, like myself and Wiki, however much we love the president and we want the president to win, one of the major headaches we have, APC does not run like a party. A political party that is not having world meeting, a political party that is not having local government meeting, a political party money and say its own national secretary cannot be cleared for governorship primaries. Do you understand how things that looks? When it's cleared for primaries before in PDP, Omishore has been cleared for Senate. Omishore has been cleared as national secretary, and suddenly Omishore wants to bypass ordinary governor in blooming Osun, and Omishore is unclear. So you will see that anybody that is used to democracy, that is used to participatory democracy, that is used for grassroots play, think twice. Is the love you have for Bola Tinubu equivalent to you accepting that you are going to go and join an organization where they will not even, they don't want to hear your view. They will just speak and they will say we are taking that. So I know that that's part of the complicated thing with. And it's the complication that anybody that has been in a party that runs democracy like PDP, this wahala you see, blame Obasanjo for it. Because it was Sivolution Obasanjo as president who came up with this crazy idea that the president is the leader of the party and the governor is the leader of the party. That's what we're suffering for. In the first instance, not the leader of the party. There are men in the state that have been party men, running the party, managing the party, leaders of the party, before they came and said they want to be governor in their party. So because you are governor now, you are sitting on our money. Is that why you are now the leader leading you before you came? Now we have been doing it for so long. Look at what we've got now. We have created a mess. And that is a very, very, very unfortunate, most unfortunate situation we have found ourselves. Most unfortunate. We found ourselves. We should go back to the drawing board. A political party must be run by culture, by its own attitude, by its own playbook, and people that have stayed in a political party longer than its leaders. A governor can be the leader of his government, but he should not be the leader of party. Can't you see the mess we have created in the country? Even in because nobody knows how to progress in the politics.
Showunmi, you just said that you don't believe APC is being run like a political party. But what is making governors, even from PDP, to migrate, let me use that word, defect into...
Very good. It has always been the way. In 1999, when PDP won, almost everybody started migrating by 2003. By 2007, a lot of people have migrated.
But you can't
we held on that place until 2011, 2015.
This level of migration
led this country for 15 years. The migration you are seeing now, there's nothing unusual about it.
Otunba, hold on, sir. The level of migration that the picture you are seeing now is nothing compared to what we had in 2003 that you are referring to, because PDP after 2023 had in excess of 7 to 9 governors. Now we have almost nothing, maybe 4. And there is fear of one-party state.
11.
Can you hear me, sir? There is a fear of one-party state that is palpable among almost all the opposition parties. So what do you just think this is?
That's going on there. What is going on there that you have seen there is that, again, in the country, anyway, the other thing going on that you have seen in the country that is even causing this movement is that we have accepted that this country will be run on a pendulum. If power, they can do 8 years because we are amalgamated in order to protectorate our southern. If power is in the south, we can do 8 years. One of the things that is even driving to that party is that why would the North not even allow him to stay 6 months on the chair before they start their voices? Oh, they want another thing. So what are they trying to do? So what you see the leaders, what the governors doing in the southern hemisphere and some of the northern hemisphere, also reinforce that gentleman's agreement that has kept the country balanced, which is that we will rotate power between the. And if anybody is trying to obstruct that, and you see governors now coming to that party to stamp their feet down to say, okay, we're going to make sure that we do everything humanly possible to respect that. That may be what the president is profiting from. But don't be deceived. There's nobody who is a governor, leader of his own party, who will happily take himself to join the party where he made it number 6. I already counted. If you are a governor, you are the president is your leader, the vice is your leader, the senate president is your leader, maybe the speaker is your leader, maybe the chairman of the party is your leader, maybe chairman of governors for president. Who do you know in this world that will want to take himself from that place and go to the place where he will be number 7?
Okay, I like the fact that you're talking about the dynamism of even our democracy. We're seeing the involvement of democracies of the world. We now understand what the U.S. Is doing presently with what Trump, is doing, and of course the government that came before him. And in Nigeria as well, we've also had experiences where some believe that if a strong person is not in charge, you always almost would have a chaos everywhere, and which is why some have said that the PDP is not together now because a strong man that was actually holding the party, that's the President Olusegun Obasanjo, left the party. There was no really strong voice that could actually bring people together, at the national level. So in the APC we had the former president, who is now late, President Muhammadu Buhari, trying to hold the party together as well. And some have said, I've argued that a bit of dictatorship is needed in a democracy. The cited examples of Rwanda, the cited examples of places where it's really working. And in Nigeria, it's almost looking like the same. We talked about Lagos State, and you're citing that example with the achievement and whatever it is that the current president has been able to do and create stability in that state as we have it. So we're thinking democracy now. What do you think moving forward? Should leaders be doing differently to get results at the end of the day so that the people would be getting the dividends of democracy?
There is no universal one model of democracy. If you read the Chinese opinions on democracy, you'll be amazed that they even consider more democratic than the multi-party democracy of America. And if you ask them in Russia, they'll tell you they do elections there in democracy. So democracy must have character, the attitude and the culture of people. In Nigeria, the Abos have been trying to figure out how to put together a thought that says we must not practice democracy with Nigerian characterization. What would that then have said that it must mean building consensus around everything. And for us to build consensus around things, we can't build consensus of a political party around shifting personalities. I mean shifting personality in the sense that build a consensus now around democracy. That consensus cannot be built around a governor or a president, because the governor will only be there for 8 years max. Political parties must handle themselves to survive forever. The party in South Africa is almost 98 years. Some of them, the one in 4. Some parties are much older. The one in America are older. Everybody, even the one in China is even 100 years or so. So people, you can't build it around an individual who is sitting. Okay. Because essentially what you are doing is that you are saying that because the sitting on government money, which is an account for, that's the basis by which he is the leader. Then when he's not sitting on government money and does not have that privilege, he's no longer the leader. Then what has happened to what you built around it? If you begin to think in that direction, that was why I started the concept of alternative, that we all please start thinking as to what is the best way to allow this democracy to survive. And I believe that the best way to make democracy survive is to build consensus around development, build consensus around decision. No one man should be able to have his way all the time. And you cannot say you want to silence voices that do not. Even the conversation of development is not a binary conversation. There are many routes to it. So, well, we are evolving, and I think that eventually we're going to see the full handiness of it. The PDP is in trouble today because they didn't listen. Since 2011, that the fundamentals of how the backline of this party is run needs to be reformed. In 2015, I said to them in clear language, you cannot reform the party with the consortium you created it. In 2019, I ran all over the world to life, making them understand that the backline is too weak. So that none is all good, none is all bad, so that they can accommodate themselves. And now they are 2026, and obviously it's looking like they are limping. The only thing that will keep PDP alive is for them to come out of the court of appeal on time, that the court of appeal can decide, okay, side A is the winner, side B is the winner. If not, if we run the risk like it is now, we have no candidate yet in the election. They've not listed us in AAKT. They've not listed us in Osun. What do you think is going to happen? If you don't get listed for any of the elections, the electoral act says that if you don't Nigeria, you got to be deregistered. So it may be going, and the government making gone. But if the court of appeal comes to the final decision, then anybody that is interested can still build. They may not win the next election. Certainly they may not win the next election, but they may be alive. But if they are too careless and they want to claw themselves to death, 100% of zero, then obviously it's going to go up in flames. Most of the governors are leaving, especially those of them that have elections, because they don't want a Zapara treatment, they don't want a plateau treatment, which would be, they could even win the election and they would say that they were not validly nominated, the issues are there. And the PDP cannot run under the assumption that the Supreme Court said, oh, court should not interfere. That's not what the Supreme Court said. That's not the totality of the interpretation of the Supreme Court. Saying is that these matters are not justiciable when it is within their own laws. But when you break your own laws, of course it must be justiciable. No court in the world is going to allow political parties to become a place where they wake up with the money just they start to kill themselves, shoot themselves, and play bottles. So anybody who is relying on the fact that the Supreme Court cannot interfere is deluding himself, is living in delusion.
Okay.
They have to climb down their house if they like, and if they don't climb down their house, good luck to us. But to say that one person is responsible, in the first instance, should Chief Obasanjo don't be ashamed that his alive and PDP is going through this crisis and he's going all over the place, pretending like he has solutions to it. When he was the very first president that party came up, what does he consider to be his lifelong goal, other than finding them out to make peace?
All right, Otunba, you just spoke about PDP and still on PDP. My first question is, which party do you belong to now? Because you are a strong member of PDP. I'm a member of the People's Democratic Party up till now. I've been getting a lot of compassion, especially from the Labour Party. I've gotten the same
from APP. I'm told that AAP is so I've decided that we'll watch PDP for a while until we get fed up, and then I'll build a proper grand coalition to challenge for the governorship.
So
my major holdback is I want the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I really want him to win. Why? Because I think I see where he's taking the country to, and I wonder a lot of, oh God, how do we do this? I don't believe in staying in one party and saying we're supporting it, but very, very unhappy with the fact that the APC is not acting like a political party. So they are running that place like a fight. One person will just give instruction and everybody go to bed. Is that even normal?
Are you indirectly informing? Are you directly informing the PDP that of your possible defection?
I don't need. Listen, the PDP knows that, and I know them now. We know ourselves very well. Who's that person in the PDP that doesn't know that I've bled? Imagine me lying down on the ground and holding power so that they won't destroy the party. Do you understand how much I went? I laid on sand. So you guys take it easy among yourselves. Take it easy among yourselves. What have I got in there that will make me be afraid of calling PDP? They're not better than to irritate me to that point. I believe that democracy is a journey. I believe that it takes time to build democratic culture. I like a lot of things about the APC, but I'm not comfortable with the fact that they are not running it like a party. I don't accept that every time they want to start an election, somebody is going to back an instruction. I don't accept the fact that you will come and say you are not doing primary. You say you are doing consensus. You want to do consensus. Yes, you will say a lot of people that are supposed to test their strength, you will say they were not clear. When it is even beginning to look against common sense, I don't believe in that. But hey,
well, that seems to be the confusion of the APC over the time when they.
You don't know that. That's not their constitution. Have you read their constitution? Yeah. Every constitution gives you the opportunity. Every opportunity to either do consensus but the constitution says you can't be saying that everybody is not qualified. What's wrong with you? Just go on OGTV.
Otunba, this is a conversation we have to continue some other time, but our time is almost up. So let's look at Rivers State. Back to Rivers State. That they are dragging us that Ogun does not have ambulance, and I have to go out of my way to write a beautiful piece to say that Ogun has ambulance. People who say thank you. I've been more for our state than you all. And if because I believe that our state is our asset. Our state, you see, if we don't, we should not allow people to forget our state to a place that when we say, here we are open. What are we? What are people under God in the world? Anyway, gentlemen, I think this is a good
okay.
Thank you very much for having me. I enjoyed your company.
We are not done with you, sir. We're not done with you. We actually we have about 2-3 minutes to go. But with the way you look at the politics of Nigeria and of course the choice of the All Progressives, you actually started by talking about ideology, but it's looking like the case is different in Nigeria where, like yourself, you like the personality or probably the programs of the current president. Of course, you're not in the APC, you're in the PDP. Is that the involvement of our democracy? Is that part of what you were talking about when you said our democracy is evolving, that you can stay in party A and still support a person?
You know, we can, all of us that are Nigerians, listen, we can be desirous of, we can be, you know, whatever party you say you belong to, we should be desirous. Okay, am I supposed to say, as a Nigerian, why have been begging God, run up and down and let our country, am I supposed to say that I don't want you to complete the coastal road?
Okay.
Or am I supposed to say that the 50-year on the drawing board, Sokoto Badagry should not be completed? Am I supposed to say that I don't believe in what they have done? They can have more money in the state or local government. Am I supposed to say that I don't accept that what has been trying to push that local government should get more money and be autonomous? What am I here? If I were to be running presidency against him, I know how to challenge him, but I cannot just be challenged. I can't accept that. Don't see who don't have anything to say other than to say we don't like it, we don't. pulling that is not. I can't accept that. I can't accept that the only way people want to be president of Nigeria is to say that everything is bad, or is it that Ghana joker country? This is the only country we've got. So in the midst of them, I say, okay, at least he's doing something. Okay, let him on. Because at the end of the day, I don't believe that we should be going from one old man to one old man. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu be president, finish and retire all these old people so that younger Bible more energetic people can take the country to the next level, then so be it. But I have not even told you that I'm good. I've only tried to be a little bit broad-minded, say, okay, what is even in the best interest of the country for God's sake? You can look at the countries of the world, look at America. It's a very direct in a man's country, removing their president. Would you not even love your country for a second and desire that you get progress? Nobody can help you to make progress apart from yourself. If you don't see any good in your country, tell me what good have you even heard from the mouth of people talking? They'll be talking as if it is easy. Ask them, are they don't subsidy? They will not tell you no. Okay, they are repeating the tax. The laws in that tax have been there since more than 50 years. More than 50 years before we were born. And some people are telling you should not reform it. So I can accept that they have issues. But I can also not accept that you're going to throw the baby and I cannot accept that. And if I'm guilty of that, then I'm guilty of it.
Otunba, Showunmi, like I said, the conversation will have to continue, but our time is up. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Well, thank you for having me. You guys have come me out very early and I've answered you. We could say the best. Everybody needs to keep backing that because at least to do sustainable development, he completed some of the projects of his predecessors. So even if for nothing, you should look at it from that point of view.
Thank you very much, sir. All right.
God bless you.
That is the program. So we have to go.
We have to go. Thank you so much for being a part of the midweek edition of New Dawn on Ogun State Television. Tomorrow will be time for another team to come on Otunba, and on Friday, the Friday crew will be here to do justice to political discussions in Nigeria and probably outside the country. Do have a wonderful day and keep watching the People's Service. Bye for now.